Well, the movie is about a down on your, kind of like it focuses on like a Michael Jackson impersonator, like living in Paris on the streets, kind of eking out a small income, and kind of doesn't understand the language and dancing for money. And one day he gets, his agent sends him to an old person retirement home and to dance for the old people, and he meets a Marilyn Monroe impersonator there, and she tells him the story about a community of impersonators, a commune, like a hippie commune, except for celebrity impersonators that live in the Highlands, way up in the mountains. And she asks him to come, and so he agrees, and it's about that community. And then there's a parallel story that runs kind of concurrent with that one, where it's basically about a group of nuns and missionaries in the jungle who fly and jump out of airplanes without parachutes to test their faith. It maybe sounds weird. I just went through there was like a long period of time. There was a few years where I just wasn't sure I was gonna make movies anymore, and like by the time I finally felt like I could do it, I just started dreaming about like nuns jumping out of airplanes, riding bicycles in the clouds, and like different things. And I started just building a kind of narrative or stories based on that. Same thing with the commune, and like I always like when I make movies, I start with like images first, like pictures or something. You know, I'll like be driving down the street and I'll see someone in a window with like curlers in her hair and boxing gloves on, and she's just punching herself in the chin. And I think, wow, that's really, that's great. And then I just start to imagine, like, what's her house look like? Like, what's her husband look like? What are her kids? What does she do for, I don't know, and from there I just kind of make things up. So these were characters like that. I've never been like a documentary filmmaker. I always kind of, even this film, it's almost like I always try to at least hope that you could imagine that these people actually exist, that these places are really there, as maybe as absurd or as strange as they are, that like those people really kind of are here with us. It's almost like a subtle science fiction. It's like the real world except slightly tweaked, like it's maybe a slight manipulation. But I'm always imposing my views. I'm always making things up. I never really had that much interest in like sticking to like, the truth. Truck driving is good, petty crime. Yeah, why not?